ESPN, welcome to Macon, Georgia! Woo! Let's go, yo! Yeah! Let's go, Bears!
Rainy Saturday in Macon, Georgia. The fans are still out and ready for some playoff football. It's the second round of the NCAA FCS playoffs on ESPN. South Dakota coming off a first-round win over Drake, eager to face the SoCon champs in 6th-seeded Mercer Bears. Well, here's a look at the bracket. The winner of this matchup advancing to the quarterfinals, and they will face either Montana or South Dakota State. Up in the booth at 5-Star Stadium, I'm Kelsey Casper alongside Forrest Connolly. Well, this Mercer team had a first-round bye, but they welcome in a tough South Dakota team, one of the best teams out of the Missouri Valley Conference.
Well, you talk about this South Dakota ball club. They are a battle-tested unit out of that Missouri Valley Conference. They come down ready to play, but this Mercer team feels like this is their time. This is their opportunity to advance, so that makes for a very interesting matchup this afternoon.
Well, let's go ahead and start with South Dakota and what they've been able to do on the ground this season with redshirt sophomore LJ Phillips, over 1,600 yards for the running back this year.
Well, he's a decisive vertical runner. He presses the line of scrimmage, and he snaps through second level and third level with twitch and balance. The thing that he's done a very good job of is showing an elusiveness when he gets to that third level.
And on the other side, for Mercer, the Bears are led by National Freshman of the Year quarterback Braden Atkinson.
Well, he plays clean footwork. He's already a field general. He keeps the chains moving, and he will punish the defense if they make coverage mistakes on the back end. It'll be interesting to see how he adjusts to this defense. And on the other side, Andrew Zock. He's an electric player off the edge. He can hold the edge. He can hold the corner. He plays with violent hands, and he displays a quick first step, and he'll be very disruptive. The offensive tackles will have to do a good job of keeping square shoulders, keeping him outside, because if they do not, he can disrupt everything that you want to do offensively.
And their head coach, Mike Jacobs, has to love the way those two underclassmen have performed this season. Jacobs in his second season leading the Bears, and the SoCon Coach of the Year, also the 4th winningest active D1 head coach. And on the other side, for South Dakota, the Coyotes are led by first-year head coach Travis Johansson. He has spent the last 6 seasons as a defensive coordinator, the last 3 as the associate head coach. It's been a pretty easy, smooth transition for South Dakota this year. And as you can tell, rainy conditions here for us on this Saturday afternoon. The ponchos, the umbrellas, everything out for this matchup.
And that will test the young quarterback early. Will he be able to grip the football? Will he be able to pass the ball down the field? We know that is what Mercer wants to do. They want to get the ball out to the playmakers. So I think they'll start early with some quick pass game, some short pass game, some extensions of that run game, some flat game out to those receivers on the outside.
Well, South Dakota won the toss. Mercer to receive. The returnman Braden Smith bringing it to about the 20-yard line. And that's where Mercer will set up shop offensively, but a flag is on the play. Early penalty on the opening kick.
There's no foul for blocking the back. First down, Mercer.
So no penalty.
And one of the interesting things that I'll look for, Kelsey, early in this ball game is South Dakota. Will they jump that quick route game from Mercer? If they do, I look for Mercer to open up the game and do some double moves, you know, some stop and go routes, something to kind of change that defense and make them rethink what they want to do coming into this ball game.
We get to see the Jerry Rice winner, National Freshman Player of the Year at the FCS subdivision. Here is Braden Atkinson at quarterback. CJ Miller lined up right next to him. He'll get the handoff, but he is met by the South Dakota defensive line. Braden Atkinson on the season, 35 touchdowns, nearly 3,500 passing yards. He has just been stellar in his first season at the collegiate level. And he stares at a 2nd and 8. And we'll get to see the arm of Atkinson here. Drops back, he connects, first down. Caught by Braden Smith, pushed out right at about the 39-yard line.
And that'll be one of the difficulties for South Dakota this afternoon. There are so many weapons on the outside for Mercer to get the ball down the field. They will have to get pressure on the quarterback and not allow him to set up and go through his reads.
18-yard pickup for Smith. Play action. Quick pass falls to the ground, and that's something that these head coaches for Mercer noted. Braden Atkinson is someone who can get the ball out really quickly. He's got good timing, he's got good rhythm.
And you saw right there, Caden Crawford, the defensive end for South Dakota, was able to get immediate pressure on Atkinson, and that is what they'll look to do all afternoon. One of the things defensive coordinator Billy Kurtz talked to us about this week was this is a different type of defense. This is a defense that Mercer has not seen as far as the size components that they bring.
2nd and 10. And up goes to Miller. And he zigzags his way through about a 2-yard gain, tackled by Matt Walsh. That'll set up 3rd down.
And that name I just said, Caden Crawford, flashed on that play once again. He did not make the play, but he disrupted the rhythm of the play. And that's what they want to do if you're South Dakota. They want to disrupt the rhythm of the play calling of this Mercer ball club.
C.J. Miller, the redshirt junior out of Alabama, lead back for this Mercer team. 3rd and 7. Atkinson flushed. He's gonna run it. He's still on his feet, past the 45-yard line, but still short of the line to gain. Brings up 4th down.
And this is an interesting 4th down call right here, Kelsey, because they're in no man's land. I think this is an opportunity to test your offensive line, to test your offense. I guess they don't feel the same way that I do, but I thought it may have been an opportunity to test your offensive line and see if you can convert this. But right now, with the weather conditions, I think it's a smart move to go ahead and punt, play field position football.
The offense stayed out there for a second, but punt unit comes out. You get to see the leg of John McConnell, FCS Punter of the Year semifinalist, as Jack Martins is back to return for South Dakota. And he'll let this one bounce into the end zone.
Goes in the end zone, touchback.
So an early win for the South Dakota defense. And we'll get to see the Coyotes offense for the first time in this matchup. First possession for South Dakota, getting a look at first-year head coach Travis Johansson. And the 5th-year quarterback, Aiden Bauman, lined up, and he'll hand it off for the first play. They're going to their main guy, L.J. Phillips, on the ground. 16 rushing touchdowns on the season for Phillips. Gain of 4 on the play. But Aiden Bauman, 22 passing touchdowns of the year. He's averaging 185 passing yards per game. The FCS leader in both games started and wins. Carson Fletcher lined up left of Bauman. We'll see the lefty's arm here. Pass caught on the outside by Lorenzo Fenner. Able to make a man miss and take it out just shy of the 40-yard line. 1st down, Coyotes.
And this is one of the dangers of this Mercer defense. Because they put so much pressure to stop the run, you're going to get man coverage on the outside. And Fenner is a difficult cover for any defensive team. But when you've got a defensive team that's playing consistent and constant man, that is the danger against this offense.
Bauman again on the ground to Phillips. Brings it past the 45-yard line for a nice gain. As you take a look at the South Dakota offense on the season, averaging 26 points per game, but they have faced a lot of good defenses, pretty balanced in terms of the rush and pass game. Six-yard gain on the play, sets up 2nd and 4. Bauman to Phillips, finds a hole, and it's another 1st down for South Dakota.
And right now, South Dakota is doing a good job of getting to the 2nd-level defenders. Watch the guards able to climb up and cover up those linebackers, and that is why they're winning at the point of attack. They're doing a good job with those tandem blocks, and what they're doing is they're understanding who is taking over that block at the line and who is climbing up to the 2nd-level linebacker.
And I'm interested to see how South Dakota establishes the run game. This is a Mercer defense that only averages or allows 90 rushing yards per game. That ranks 4th in FCS. Bauman with time. Pressured. Bobbled and incomplete.
Passing complete to Phillips.
Passing complete to Phillips. Good coverage by Tommy Bliss.
And that was a good job by the offensive line, giving Bauman the time that he needed, but also a good job on the back end from the Mercer defenders, covering up those receivers with the vertical routes. And you see right there, covering underneath, not allowing Phillips to get his hands on that football. That's what you have to do if you're Mercer. Be able to cover, try and give your line time to get to the quarterback, but a great job by Donovan Watkins on the cover.
2nd and 10 for USD. Phillips again, able to find a hole, and he's loose in a foot race down to the 10-yard line. Big run from LJ Phillips, and the Coyotes are in the red zone.
And that's the danger when you bring everybody down in the box. There are no third-level defenders, so you see once Phillips gets to the third level, there's no one there, but you see the speed from Mercer, from Donovan Watkins, able to run him down from the backside. But once again, when you've got everybody in the box and you get great blocking at the point of attack, and you get those interior linemen climbing up on those second-level defenders, there's no third-level defenders, so they've got to do a good job of bottling it up at the line of scrimmage.
41-yard rush for Phillips. 2 backs. Hand off to Reese Watkins, pushing his way, and he's in! Touchdown, South Dakota, and the Coyotes strike first.
And right now, what you're seeing, you're not seeing fork and spoon eaters, you're seeing hand eaters right now. These guys are grinding them up at the point of attack. And look at the foot movement, look at the push. The offensive linemen, the running backs, they are winning at the point of attack, getting pushed at the point of attack, firing off with a flat back and staying low.
The redshirt freshman, Reed Watkins, with his first touchdown of his career. On to kick the extra point is Will Leyland. And South Dakota takes a 7-0 lead. The Coyotes establishing the run game early, and it was Watkins in the end zone for the score with the extra push. A 7-0 lead for South Dakota. Their last drive, 7 plays, 80 yards, ending with a Reed Watkins touchdown. The redshirt freshman finding the end zone in Forest. South Dakota was able to establish their run on the opening drive. They had 65 rushing yards on their first possession.
Well, you talk about demoralizing when you go against a defense that's only given up 90 yards a football game. They accepted the challenge from the offensive line perspective. They're hitting Mercer in the mouth. They're challenging them at the point of attack, and they're winning. And once again, when you've got all of those players in the box, that's the danger. When you get to the second and third level, there are no defenders left.
Zeke Mata to kick things off. Just over 9 minutes to go in this first quarter. Braden Smith back to receive at the 5-yard line. Brings it to nearly the 20-yard line. That's where Mercer will get a shot at their second drive.
And one of the things that I saw that South Dakota did on that last drive on that third down was they showed one defense pre-snap. They shifted to something different post-snap. And that's what you want to do against a young quarterback that is very confident. You want to get him thinking a little bit. You want to challenge that confidence a little bit. Show him something early that he doesn't see as the play progresses.
1st and 10. Atkinson, the quick pass, in and out of the hands of C.J. Miller.
And you see on that play, they showed 7 at the line of scrimmage. They only brought 4. They dropped 7 back into coverage. So once again, you've got the young quarterback thinking. They want to not allow him to get into that rhythm that he got into all season, which got him that Jerry Rice Award.
And the freshman quarterback also playing in these weather conditions. Rainy and 48 degrees here in Macon, Georgia. The handoff on the ground. It's a good run for C.J. Miller. Sprints up the middle for a first down gain.
And a good job by the offensive line. You see the trap block right there. A good job opening up the lane. And C.J. Miller reading the blocks and doing a good job of finding the seam and getting north and south.
That was Roman Tillman in on the tackle, and he is down on the field injured as the South Dakota training staff attends to him. It was a 16-yard pickup from C.J. Miller. Roman Tillman, 80 tackles on the season, one of the younger guys in this secondary for South Dakota. Redshirt sophomore out of Independence, Missouri, is up and running off the field.
And the coaching staff talked about the development of the back half of this defense as the season progressed. They continue to chop wood and get better and better. You see right here, this is where he got injured. And it just looks like he fell kind of awkward. Maybe got in the wind, knocked out.
Well, you mentioned the defense. Coach Joe Hansen said, flat out, we were bad at the beginning of the season. He wasn't shying away from his words, but this group has certainly developed. And has got them a spot in the playoffs. Miller again on the carry for a minimal gain. Chris Dixon first in to make the stop. They'll bring up second down. This Mercer team clinching their second straight SoCon title with a win over Chattanooga earlier this year. And the Bears, they lead the nation in total offense, averaging 504 yards per game. We'll see if that starts to develop here as the first half moves on. Atkinson flushed. He's taken down as he throws it up, and it's picked off.
Atkinson's pass is intercepted.
Intercepted by Gabe Hardman. The pressure coming from Caden Crawford.
And Caden Crawford has wreaked havoc early on this young quarterback. He's pressured him, and that's what you want to do. You want to pressure him. You want to make him make mistakes early in the ball game. For the young quarterback, sometimes if it's not there as it's drawn up, just take the sack. Live with the bad play, but you don't want to give up an easy turnover.
And that is a Mercer offensive line that's only given up 5 sacks this season. D-line from South Dakota able to bring the pressure and force the turnover. So South Dakota, here's another chance. Pass thrown and caught over the middle of the field by Jack Martins.
And you see, once again, back to that pressure, beaten to the inside. The tight end has to do a better job of blocking on the outside. You've got to get square on Caden Crawford. 6'4", 265 pounds to transfer from Iowa. He comes from Power 4 football, so he has a good skill set with rushing the passer. So the tight end has to do a better job of being square at the point of attack and not giving him that inside move.
South Dakota already in Mercer territory, pushing it out to Phillips as he takes it to about the 25-yard line.
Now, one of the things about that run, Phillips didn't get a lot of yards, but if you watch on this play, Phillips doesn't go down. And that's something that demoralizes the defense. When you can hit a running back, but he doesn't go down, he stays on his feet, he gets extra yards, but he's a fall-forward back. And that's what you want to do to this defense. You want to continue to challenge them and let them know that you're not going to go down.
72 yards on the ground already for South Dakota. He's put up 7 on their opening possession. That's the 7th time this season they've scored on their opening drive. There's Bauman, pass caught by his tight end, Caden Fry. Just his 4th reception of the season.
And if you watch what Fry does on this play, first he chips on the pass rusher, Andrew Zock, and once he chips on him and allows the tackle to get out there and cover him up, then he gets out into his route. So it's a delayed route by Fry. I love what they're doing play-wise. They're helping their tackles on the outside, not allowing Zock to bring pressure on the quarterback, and then they're leaking him out for a late reception.
Bauman, quick pass, sliding and making the catch is Martins again. Right at the first down marker.
And a good job by Martins recognizing where the sticks were, getting right beyond the sticks, turning around and giving him quarterback a target. Now, he had 2 people out there covering him, but they've got to do a better job defensively of identifying where the sticks are and understanding that underneath coverage, you can maybe jump that route because you've got help over the top.
So first down Yotes, ball on the Mercer 31. Allen was under center, pressure comes. Pass is caught by Phillips, but he is taken down in the backfield. A loss on the play. brought down by Antonio Butts Jr.
And good initial pressure. They wanted to get the ball out, kind of a delayed screen, but watch how Butts gets through all the traffic. Number 33 on the outside. He does a good job of locating the football. He was doubled up, but he was able to beat the double team and get up the field and make that tackle. That's what you want to do. Find a way to find a seam and get through all of the traffic to find the ball carrier.
-4 on the play, sets up 2nd and 14, under 5 to go in this first quarter. Bauman pressure comes again, able to get it off, and it's complete to his tight end Miller.
And watch Miller on this play. Miller comes across the formation. He just kind of sits down in the zone, an open area. He makes himself a big target. Then he runs over the defender right there, Antonio Butts, who just made the tackle the previous play.
That brings up another 3rd down for the Yotes. Looking to take a 2-score lead in this first quarter. They give it to Phillips, patient, finds a hole, Phillips on the run, and he's in! LJ Phillips with his 17th rushing touchdown of the year. And the Yotes take a 13-0 lead in this first quarter.
And you see what they did? They brought Jesse Miller, the tight end, back over. He came with the trap block to the opposite side, and then you bring Phillips back around. So there's a lot of misdirection going on, and they've got this defense guessing on their heels right now.
Here's Leyland again to kick the extra point. (14-0), the South Dakota lead. With under 4 minutes to go in the first quarter, it's been the run game for South Dakota, getting the job done for the Coyotes as LJ Phillips runs it in. South Dakota takes a 14-0 lead, and Forrest, it started with the defensive pressure.
Well, you saw right there the young quarterback making an erring judgment, letting the football go with the pressure from Caden Crawford. But then they come with the split zone. The H-back comes across the back of the formation with the wham block. And you see Phillips able to get around the edge and get the easy score, up 14-0. Mercer's in trouble. They better score on this drive.
Taking a look at the stats from LJ Phillips, 80 rushing yards already in this first quarter. That last drive, 7 plays, 48 yards, took about 4 minutes off the clock. And South Dakota is rolling in this first quarter as they take a 14-0 lead over Mercer. Zeke Mata back out to kick things off. Braden Smith back to receive for the Bears. Looking to get their offense kick-started here in the second round of the FCS playoffs at home. Smith takes it to about the 24-yard line. And Forrest, this is an offense from Mercer that produces a lot of yards. They generate a lot of offense. How do they get things started here?
Well, I think you've got to get your quarterback back comfortable. Right now, he's not comfortable. They're getting immediate pressure on him. The tight end did a poor job that last drive of blocking Caden Crawford. Crawford has been an issue early in this ball game from the defensive standpoint of South Dakota. So they've got to get bodies on number 10. Don't allow him to get immediate pressure, but get some easy, quick passes for the quarterback. Get that confidence back into him and get him back into a rhythm.
Only 18 yards from Atkinson today. He gets it to his running back, and he is eaten up by this defense.
And watch on this play, watch number 25, R.J. Stewart. He gets immediate pressure there, bringing the blitz from the outside. They're getting pressure at the point of attack from the interior part of that defensive line. They're pushing those guards in the center back into the backfield so the back doesn't have anywhere to go. They've got to do better at the point of attack from the interior line.
Loss of 1 on the play. Quick pass. And Adonis McDaniel is hit hard. 3rd down.
And right there, you're seeing a quarterback that is still uncomfortable. If you watch the receiver, he has to reach back. That ball, he should be catching the ball moving forward as opposed to stopping and having to reach back to grab that football. Once again, you've got a quarterback that is not comfortable back there.
Chris Dixon making the contact on that play, and it's 3rd and 9. Atkinson takes a shot downfield, going up and making the grab. It's It's Kendall Harris with a big pickup for Mercer.
And you see Harris on the outside. He did a good job of locating the football, high pointing the football, and making a play for his quarterback. And I like that play. Atkinson did a good job of identifying where he had a favorable matchup and put the ball where his receiver can make a play for him.
29-yard reception for Kendall Harris, and a timeout called
Dakota, first charge of the first half.
by South Dakota.
30 seconds.
And that was against the first-team defensive back, Mikey Munn, on the outside. So that is something to look for, and I like that he challenged Mikey Munn. Mikey Munn is their best back-end cover guy. So to be able to challenge him early in this football game, that shows some confidence by this quarterback. But you've got to find favorable matchups, and I think when they see man coverage on the outside, they feel like they can win that battle. You saw on that play, Harris able to get up over the defensive back and make that catch for him. So I like the challenge, and I like the ability, and I like the quarterback, the moxie of the young quarterback. He's had some bad plays early, but you see the nice ball down the field and the great play by his receiver to stop, get up in the air. Now the question is, did he catch that ball? It looked like the ball was moving as he hit the ground. I wonder if they're going to take another look at that.
Yeah, the officials are meeting.
The ruling on the field was a completed catch. Previous plays under further review.
You're right. Looks like they're going to take a second look at this because Kendall Harris went up and got it, but on the way down, it looked like he lost control a bit.
Now, the interesting thing is if the ball moved, but he was under the ball and maintained control and was still in bounds, it would still be a legal catch. Did he get control of the ball before he rolled out of bounds? On this shot right here, it looks like the ball moves, but did he gain control before he rolled out of bounds? It looked like he did gain control of the football after it moved.
Looks like now when his back is...
That's the question. Is it enough evidence to overturn the call that was made on the field? Because you see he did regain control of the football. That's the question. Is it enough to overturn it?
Well, the ruling on the field was a completed catch. Looks like they've made a decision and we're waiting here. South Dakota players are celebrating. We'll wait for the official word.
And that's interesting where they're
After
placing
further
the
review,
football.
the ruling on the field is overturned to an incomplete pass. Ball be placed at the 24-yard line. It'll be fourth down.
So now it's fourth down. You just had a big pickup taken away. And now the punt unit comes out.
And I think it's interesting that they overturned that call. I guess they saw enough on it, but to me, when he gained control of the football when his back was on the ground, was it clear enough to say that he was out of bounds at that point? To me, is the question that I would have.
So the South Dakota defense again getting off the field quickly and forcing Mercer to punt it away again. Martins back to receive at about the 25-yard line. He's got a pretty good gain on the play, takes it to about the 39-yard line. So with just over 2 minutes to play, we'll see what South Dakota does on this drive and what they can do on the ground because they have been tremendous so far in the run game, specifically with LJ Phillips as a player is down on the field for Mercer. Appears to be Fabian Scott, number 21. Down on the field for Mercer. Getting banged up on that kickoff, excuse me, on that punt. So South Dakota with a 14-0 lead with 2:12 left to go in this first quarter. We had mentioned how stellar they've been on the ground today. And LJ Phillips for us, he's the redshirt sophomore who has just been fantastic for the Coyotes this season, but he actually wasn't their go-to option at the beginning of the year. South Dakota had 2 season-ending injuries in their running back room. Charles Pierre, he was a preseason All-American, had a season-ending injury. LJ Phillips really had to thrust himself into that starting role after the first 2 games, and he has just been fantastic all season.
Well, 6.4 yards a carry. He has been the workhorse for this ball club. Carried the ball over 250 carries throughout the season. He's done an excellent job of just being that guy and stepping up. Coaches always say you're an ankle sprain away from getting into the ball game and having to perform. And he's shown you that he was ready and prepared when his opportunity presented itself.
First and 10, ball on the 38. Phillips here. Man, he can work his way out of some trouble, but a flag comes out on the play.
And I think for the first time, Mercer won at the line of scrimmage at the point of attack on that play.
Personal foul, face mask, number 0, defense. Penalty is 15 yards at the previous spot, carries an automatic first down.
And as luck would have it, they finally win at the point of attack, but then Zoc gets caught with his hand up in the cookie jar. You know, and you have to wonder right now with this defense, they're just trying to do whatever they can. You see Zoc right there reaching, trying to get his hands on the ball carrier. They finally, like I said, got pressure, got up the field. But you've got to keep your hands out of the cookie jar. You got to keep your hands down. They're protecting the ball players right there. He wasn't malicious, but he did get his hands up in the face mask.
So with the penalty, South Dakota now past midfield. Here's Bauman, pass caught by Mertens, who's taken out just past the 40-yard line. 8-yard pickup for the 5th-year senior.
And right now, South Dakota just seems to be very comfortable offensively, moving the football. They're running the ball very effectively, which now has, you know, Mercer questioning their ability to stop the run. And then when they want to get into that pass game, they're getting man coverage on the outside, and they're winning.
Bauman under center. 2nd and 2. Pitches it to Phillips. Gets around the edge. Flag comes in as Phillips gets inside the 35.
And you saw in that play, Mercer has 7 at the line of scrimmage.
Holding, number 8, offense. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Repeat, 2nd down.
Holding's going to go against Javion Phelps. And will push South Dakota back.
And now you're starting to see that pressure from the Mercer defensive line getting up the field, 7 in the box. But when you've got 7 in the box, when you've got 7 at the line of scrimmage, when you're bringing that pressure, you've got to make the play, because once again, if the ball carrier is able to get to that 2nd and 3rd level, there are not many defenders left.
And this is a Mercer team that leads the FCS with 42 sacks on the year. 2nd and 12. Fletcher, the back, spinning. Takes it to about the 46-yard line, and a flag comes out. That'll bring up 3rd down. No flag on the play.
And this is a key 3rd down for Mercer. Can they get off the field? Can they get the ball back to their offense? This is huge right now.
Clock's winding down on this first quarter. It looks like they will wait to snap this one. And that wraps up the first quarter here in Macon, Georgia. It's been all Coyotes. They've dominated the game on the ground, and they take a 14-0 lead over the Bears. 14-0 lead for the Yotes of South Dakota. They found the end zone twice, both on the ground.
Well, it's been the LJ Phillips story early. He has been running rampant all over this defense. And then you get Watkins with the early score. And then they go with the split zone, backside wham block. But first, the interception, the poor throw by Atkinson, getting pressure on the young quarterback. And there it is, the split zone, backside wham block, and Phillips gets around the edge for the easy score. Right now, they're doing exactly what they said they were going to be able to do, is run through this run defense for Mercer. Can they accept the challenge? Can they get off the field on this third down? I think will be key in them staying in the football game.
91 yards on the ground for South Dakota. It's 3rd and 10. Ball on the 46 to start the second quarter. South Dakota has converted on both third downs today. Bauman, quick pass, caught, and taken down is Carson Fletcher. And a 4th down forced by this Mercer defense.
And a good job by Mercer. They showed 5 at the line of scrimmage, but at the snap, they dropped back into the zone coverage. They kept everything underneath. And when you do that, you just have to make the tackle. And a good job on the outside by Julian Fox making that tackle, not allowing him to convert that.
So first time we get to see Tyler Ebel. Braden Smith back to receive, calls for the fair catch at the 6-yard line. So the Bears hoping that defense can give their offense a little momentum to start this second quarter strong.
Now, if I'm Mercer, I'm trying to get the ball out to the flat. That's an extension of the run game. But you get the ball to a playmaker in space and allow them to get one-on-one on the outside. That's where you feel like you can win. That's where they feel like they have the advantage, when they've got their playmakers one-on-one with those defenders on the outside. They're not winning at the point of attack right now, so I think they've got to get the ball outside.
40-yard punt for Ebel. And Mercer starts with tough field position. And taken down in the backfield. It was Ty Doty on the carry, brought down by R.J. Stewart.
And you see R.J. Stewart up at the line of scrimmage, and you're going east and west. You cannot go east and west against this South Dakota defense. They're getting up the field with pressure. You've got to go north and south. You've got to get it and hit it and go.
Another tackle for a loss by this South Dakota defense. 2nd and 11. Atkinson's pass is incomplete. Off the fingertips of Samuel Albee. Was met quickly by this defense.
And that's a scary pass because you're throwing across the field. This is pick 6 category right here, when you're throwing the ball across the field right there, especially against Mikey Munn, their best cover on the back end of that defense. I think, too, that's a late developing play. You've got to get more quick developing plays for the young quarterback. Get the ball out of his hands fast. Get the ball to a playmaker early.
Big 3rd and 11 here. Atkins, pass, caught. Was he in bounds? And they're saying it's a catch. Travion Solomon with a big 1st down pickup for Mercer.
And a good job by the quarterback putting the ball where his receiver can make a play on it. And he did get 1 foot down. And you see Mercer goes with the quick lineup tempo game right there to not allow them to get another opportunity to look back at that play. I like what Mercer did on that play. They lined up very quickly.
Pushing the pile there for a 9-yard 1st down gain, but taking a look at this catch by Solomon right there. Good footwork.
Yeah, but I also, like I said, they go to tempo. You know, you want to don't give the officials another opportunity.
They got the snap off quickly, and they got a 9-yard gain on the play. It's a 2nd and 2. Miller again. Hit hard and set back, 3rd down.
And once again, you've got penetration, no push from the line of scrimmage. He's going east and west. There's nowhere for him to plant and get north and south. The offensive tackle, Xavier Jennings, 1st-team offensive tackle, you've got to do a better job of getting pushed at the point of attack. You cannot allow Nathan LePerry to push you back into the backfield.
So again, 3rd down. This time a little bit more manageable for the Bears. Miller on the carry. Did he get it? And it looks like he did enough to move the chains.
A good job right there by the interior of that offensive lineman. A good late pickup right there by Amari Atkinson to pick up that blitzing linebacker to allow the back the space that he needed to get up the field.
So Mercer's starting to put together the best drive we've seen so far today.
And I think it's extremely important for them to score on this drive. Remember, South Dakota gets the ball coming back out in the second half.
Play action, Atkinson taking a shot, and it's picked off. Second interception of the day, and it's Mikey Munn who comes down with it for the Yotes.
And Atkinson had what he wanted on that play, but you've got to lead your receiver. You've got to put more on the football. Too much air. You allowed the best cover corner, Mikey Munn, to run under it and get the pick. He's got tired of them going at him, and he makes the big play for South Dakota.
Back in Macon for the second round of the FCS playoffs. Well, you're taking a look at the South Dakota Coyotes, who did a team bonding activity. They went hiking in South Dakota, got to see Mount Rushmore, all the sights, and the best part is they actually left all their phones on the bus and really focused on having those team bonding moments. And you're kind of seeing that team bonding pay off all the way here in December because they're in the playoffs.
And that's impressive, but what's more impressive to me, they got everybody to leave their phones on the bus. That is huge right there, but you see the effects of it, and you see the togetherness of this ball club.
They have a 14-0 lead with 11:38 left to go in the second quarter. Off the interception, here's LJ Phillips on the run, minimal gain. Picks up 3 on the play. LJ Phillips had a touchdown in the first quarter along with Reed Watkins.
And South Dakota set the tone early in this ball game, being able to run the ball very effectively against this defense that came in only giving up 90 yards a game rushing.
And South Dakota, they're a good team when they score first. They're 6-2. When they score first in the game, 6-0 when leading at the half. Bauman looking downfield. Bose is there and makes the grab inside the 40, and it's a massive pickup for USD.
Well, you've got 6'4" going against 5'11", and he's going to win that battle every time. He got inside leverage on KJ Thomas. KJ Thomas has to do a better job of not giving up inside leverage, but also you've got to get some pass rush on Bowman. Bowman has all the time that he needs to pass the football. You saw Zoc getting there a little bit late, but they're chipping once again, not giving Zoc that free range to go one-on-one on the outside.
Big pickup by the redshirt junior, Tyson Bose. Here's Phillips on the carry. And he's still moving. LJ Phillips, the strength to break multiple tackles. 15-yard gain.
And poor KJ Thomas, he's holding on for dear life. Watch your number 8. But the thing about Phillips, he just continues to pound the rock. Keep those feet moving. Keep those feet churning. Continuing to make them understand, you are going to have to hit me, wrap me up, gang tackle to get me down.
Coming in this game, ranked 3rd in FCS in net rushing yards. Ball on the Mercer 16. Why not give it to him again? Goes right into the pile, reaching in into about the 10-yard line for a 6-yard pickup. And what makes LJ Phillips so special?
His ability to just fall forward. He's a fall forward back. He runs behind his pads. He keeps a low center of gravity, and he loves contact. He's what I call a contact runner. He's not one of those guys that ducks contact. He runs toward the contact. He puts his helmet down. He puts his shoulder pads down, and he runs through defenders.
LJ Phillips on the day. 10 carries for 100 yards, and there's still 9 minutes left to play in this second quarter.
He's playing what I call square chin old school football right now.
Play called dead. Here's a flag. Looks like it's going to be false start.
False start, number 6, offense, 5-yard penalty, second down.
You know, Kelsey, the Missouri Valley Conference prides themselves on being the toughest football conference in FCS football. They feel like they're the SEC of FCS football, and you see it on display right now, the way they're going at this run-stopping defense and telling them, we know you're the #1 run-stop defense in the FCS, but we feel like we're going to run through you, and we're doing that early in this football game. So they are answering the challenge. Right now, Mercer's defense is not accepting the challenge of stopping the run.
The Missouri Valley teams are well represented in this FCS playoffs. 2 backs in. Here's Phillips. Moving around the pile, trying to get to the outside, and he's in again. 2 touchdowns on the day for LJ Phillips, and it's all South Dakota in this game.
And all you have to do is watch this play and watch how the offensive line fires off the football. They get movement at the point of attack. But watch the vision of Phillips. I think that is what stands out more so to me than just running in there with his head down. He saw that there was nothing there, and he just bounced it to the outside because Mercer did not keep the edge, did not maintain, contain. They came down inside, and you watch how Phillips bounces it to the outside. There are no defenders there. Watch the movement. Great movement by the offensive line. Phillips bounces it to the outside. No defenders there, and he basically walks into the end zone with a 21-0 score.
This South Dakota defense came ready to play this Saturday afternoon, bringing a lot of pressure to a young quarterback.
Well, they're not giving Atkinson any time. They're making him second-guess himself. There are opportunities that he's had there, but they're continuing to add pressure. And then he had an opportunity to get the ball down the field, and I think he just didn't put enough on it. He had the receiver open, but he put too much air under the football, allowing the defender to run under it and make the big play. The young quarterback has to get back into a rhythm, and they've got to find a way to put some points on the board before we get to the half.
21-0 lead, this South Dakota defense. 2 tackles for loss, 2 interceptions, 2 pass breakups, and they secured their 10th interception of the season. They'll let this one go back into the end zone. Mercer was on their best drive of the game when Braden Atkinson threw his 2nd pick of the day, and he has struggled this afternoon. The Jerry Rice winner, taking a look at his numbers, 3 of 9, only 37 yards and 2 interceptions.
And it's a tough outing for the young player, but, you know, this is why, you know, you have to continue to play through it. This is an opportunity for him to play through it. This is a learning opportunity for him. But I think what he has to do is go back to that last drive. Look at the opportunities that they had, the opportunities that they didn't cash on. That last interception, he had what he wanted. He just didn't put enough on the football. You have to wonder if weather played a part in it.
Yeah, weather's certainly not doing anyone favors, as C.J. Miller picks up 9 on the carry. Redshirt junior out of Alabama.
And a good job by the offensive lineman right there. You saw slide engagement right there, sliding over and then getting up the field, finding their blocking assignments.
And a flag comes out.
Ball start, number 60, offense, 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
Ball start on Gavin Marks as Mercer was trying to get the snap off quickly.
And one of the things I mentioned weather earlier, coaches will say, hey, weather's on both sides. You know, both teams have to play with the weather, so you can't use that as an excuse. But once again, you've got to continue to stay positive with your young quarterback and continue to keep his head in the ball game.
This is a Mercer team, after a loss in week 1, rattled off 9 straight wins. They have had a lot of success this season, and Miller's having success on this drive. It's a 1st down pickup and another 9-yard gain.
And a good job by the offensive lineman getting blocks at the point of attack. You see getting up to the 2nd level defenders, doing a good job on their tandem blocks with those interior linemen. You've got the initial double team, and then you knock off the person, and he gets up to that 2nd level and covers him up. The tight ends are doing a good job as well of getting up in the seam and getting blocks at the point of attack.
Miller, patient, around the edge, makes a man miss, and he's taken down just shy of the 50-yard line. 3 solid carries from C.J. Miller on this drive.
Excellent job by Miller, not just running up in there. Watch how he stops. He allows the blocks to develop, and he sees there's an opportunity to bounce it to the outside because South Dakota did not keep the edge on that play.
And they'll continue to give him the rock. 4-yard pickup, but a flag comes out.
Holding, number 74, offense. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Repeat, 1st down.
Holding on the redshirt sophomore Amari Atchison.
You see now Dickel able to get inside leverage on Atkinson. Sometimes when you're beat to the inside, just take the defender where he wants to go and hope that your back can be dynamic enough to cut off of the block.
teams making substitutions. As Tyrell Cord lines up in the backfield. 1st and 20. Atkinson looking. Over the middle of the field, in and out of the hands, and it's picked off! RJ Stewart with the interception brings it back to about the 37-yard line. And Braden Atkinson with his 3rd pick of the day. This South Dakota defense has been ruthless. RJ Stewart with the hands. Third interception on the day for Braden Atkinson as we take another look, Forrest.
And Dante Dabbs, their best receiver, this is right on the money. You've got to help your quarterback out. You've got to squeeze that football and watch as the play ends. He just kind of lays there because he knows he screwed up on that play. But you've got to make that catch. That was critical for them to keep this drive going. They had some positive runs by C.J. Miller. They were moving the ball effectively. The quarterback looked like he was getting back into the rhythm that he needed to be in. And your best receiver allows the ball to bounce off of his shoulder pads.
The interception from R.J. Stewart. Redshirt freshman, another young guy in that South Dakota secondary coming up and making a big play. And this Coyotes offense is back on the field. Hand off to Phillips. He finds a hole up the middle. Breaks a few tackles, still on his feet as he gets to the 40-yard line, and a flag comes in.
It looks like they're going to get a face mask on the end of this run. It's almost like watching Jerome Bettis right now. The wheels on the bus go round and round every time Phillips carries the football. He's just running through defenders.
Personal foul. Face mask. Number 4, defense. Penalties 15 yards from the end of the play. 1st down.
So it was a 29-yard run for Phillips. Add another 15 off this face mask penalty.
And you see right there, I mean, they're going to get that every time. And you've got Mercer defenders just trying to find a way to get Phillips down right now. He's just running through arm tackles. He's running through everything that they're attempting to do to get him down. They're trying to game tackle him, but he's running through that as well.
One play, and South Dakota's already at the Mercer 25. 1st and 10, under 6 minutes left to play in this first half. Bauman under center, hands it off to Carson Fletcher. Takes it right into the Mercer defense.
And if you're Mercer now, you see Phillips coming back on the field. It's like, okay, here he comes again. You know, they've got to keep all eyes on Phillips. But what that does is that allows for them to set up that play action game as well. So watch for that as well from this South Dakota offense. I don't think you go to it because they haven't shown an ability to stop Phillips, but it does create that option for this offense.
So 2nd and 9. Bauman drops back. Going up and making the catch is Lorenzo Fenner. We haven't said his name a lot this first half, but he makes a big catch here at the 10-yard line.
And you see they went with the play action game right there. You fake the handoff to Phillips, which allows for them to get one-on-one coverage on the outside, and you go to your big play receiver, Fenner. He's got man coverage. He feels like he can win that battle every opportunity out there.
Lorenzo Fenner, the redshirt sophomore, and led the MVC in touchdown receptions this year. And he gets South Dakota in 1st and goal.
And you see what they're doing? They're putting him in the slot, so they're getting the safety matchup on Fenner.
Play action. Bauman just going to throw this one away.
Interesting play call right there. You've had a running attack that has not been stopped, and you decide to go with the play action right there. You've got the jet sweep action. You've got the dive play action going right there. But a good job by Mercer. Eye recognition, staying on those receivers, not giving him anywhere Bauman to go with the football.
So 2nd and goal. Hand off to Phillips. Good tackle made, but a flag comes out. Hutchinson bringing down Phillips on the play.
Number 17, Caleb Hutchinson.
And I thought Phillips had an opportunity to cut that back.
Holding, number 6, offense. Penalty is 10 yards from the previous spot. Repeat first down. Correction, repeat second down.
Holding on Tyson Bose.
After the penalty, it will be second down.
And I think that's the second holding penalty he's had this afternoon, blocking in the perimeter. You see right there on the outside, right there holding. You grab on the outside, you've got to keep those hands inside the shoulder plate. If you get your hands outside on those shoulder pads, they're going to make that call every time.
That was Carmelo O'Neal trying to get to the outside to make the tackle.
Interesting, Kelsey, I don't know if I take that penalty. I think I go to third down because now you get this dynamic offense 2 more opportunities.
So now you're sitting at a 2nd and goal at the 20-yard line. Bauman trying to connect underneath to Carson Fletcher, but it goes in and out of the hands of the freshman. 3rd and goal.
And if Fletcher catches that football, he's got room on Julian Fox to turn up the field and possibly get to the end zone. They had a defender closing, but that would have been a good one-on-one matchup on the outside.
Fletcher, the walk-on, getting some big opportunities this season.
Remember, Fletcher played 75% of that 5 overtime win against Southern Illinois, so he's had time and made big plays for this offense.
And he's out there behind Bauman now on 3rd down. And he is hit hard in the backfield. Tackle for a loss. Kobe McInnes and Caleb Hutchinson teaming up to make the tackle.
And a good job getting pressure up the field initially by Kobe McInnes, forcing that play to the outside. That's what you want to do. You don't want to give up that lane. You want to force that play away from where it's designed to go. Allow pursuit to get there, and once you get there, gang tackle.
So that's a win for this Mercer defense. As the Coyotes are going to have to settle for a 40-yard attempt here with the win. But it's perfect. Off the leg of Will Leyland. 24-0, the lead for South Dakota. Weren't able to get in the end zone, but they had an extra 3 on the board.
Now the danger's here. If you're Mercer, you want to get some points on the board. You know South Dakota's going to get the ball coming out in the second half. You want to try and put some points on the board before halftime, but you have to be careful with the football. We know what's happened with Atkinson throwing these interceptions. Some hit on him, but some not on him. The last one, Ajante should have made that catch, but you've got to be careful with the football.
Both of these teams trying to keep their seasons alive in hopes of a national championship. Last year, North Dakota State, the Bison, creating a dynasty in the FCS, and then also South Dakota State, the winners back-to-back in 2022 and 2023, and then all the way back in 2020, it was Sam Houston. And before them, James Madison in 2016. See the champs Eastern Washington back in 2010. Both of these teams looking to join their company. National championship taking place in Nashville on January 5th.
And did you know Mercer, the last 2 years, have been knocked out of the playoffs by the eventual champion, North Dakota State and South Dakota State.
They won in the second round last year. They beat 10-seed Rhode Island before eventually losing to the national champion North Dakota State team. But they trail here. 24-0. We'll see if their offense can generate anything in this final 3 minutes of the first half. Three interceptions on the day for Braden Atkinson. National Freshman Player of the Year in FCS. Play action. And here comes the flag. That was R.J. Stewart. He had the interception on the last possession.
And 3 officials threw flags. I mean, it was obvious right there. They had single high, safety, nobody on the outside, and the defensive back did exactly what you're supposed to do on that play because he's going to give up a touchdown if he
Pass
doesn't grab it.
interference, number 45, defense. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. That carries an automatic first down.
So it was on R.J. Stewart, pass intended for Adonis McDaniel, but pretty obvious penalty in the secondary for South Dakota. Gives Mercer some extra yards here at their own 40.
And I don't think Coach Billy Kurtz will have any problem with that penalty.
This time they hand it off to Miller. Trying to get out to the far sideline. He does. It's a first down for C.J. Miller. 12-yard pickup.
Once again, impressive running by C.J. Miller. He shows patience. He bounces it to the outside. Has the speed to get there and the vision to know when to cut it up and get north and south.
First team All-SoCon selection moves the chains for the Bears.
Good job on the outside as well by Xavier Jennings getting that cleanup down.
Atkinson pressured. Throws it downfield, dangerous pass, and it falls incomplete. Intended for Travion Solomon. It was Mikey Munn in coverage.
Now, I like what Atkinson did. He climbed the pocket. He had pressure around him. He didn't allow that to affect him. He climbed the pocket, keeping his eyes down the field. But that was a dangerous throw because the ball kind of hung up in the air on him, and you allowed the defenders to get over there to make a play. Mikey Munn almost making another interception because of the way the ball hung up in the air.
Still only 37 passing yards on the day for Braden Atkinson. Delayed handoff. And Nate Ewell was all over it for South Dakota. Third down.
And you see right there, C.J. Miller is trying to make a jump cut. He tries to stop, but Ewell does a good job of getting up in the seam and putting a hat on the hat and knocking him backwards.
The senior with the team best 4 double-digit tackle games on the season. That'll bring us to the final 2 minutes of this first half. South Dakota with the big lead as they've held Mercer scoreless in this first half. Back in Macon, Georgia, 2 minutes left in this first half. And the Coyotes at the massive 24-0 lead over Mercer, but the Bears with the ball in South Dakota territory. It's 2nd and 9, ball on the Coyotes 47. Play called dead and a flag comes out.
Ball start, number 63, offense, 5-yard penalty, third down.
And mental errors, those are things that you cannot have happen when you're trying to get back into a football game, especially when you're playing guard. You're right there where the football is. You know the snap count. There's no reason for you to be jumping off sides.
Mercer 2 of 4 on third downs today. Atkinson with time across the middle of the field. And incomplete, in and out of the hands of Solomon. It's 4th down.
And Travion Solomon, you've got to squeeze the football. Atkinson doing a good job. Watch how he climbs the pocket. He doesn't allow the pressure to affect him, and he delivers a strike. But you've got to help your young quarterback out. Solomon, you've got to squeeze that football.
A couple times these receivers for Mercer are not helping out their QB, as Atkinson is 3 for 13 today.
Here.
So another punt for the Bears.
Here.
Arden's back for the Yotes. Calls for the fair catch. So the Coyotes will get the ball back with less than 2 minutes to play in this first half.
No, it's interesting. If you're South Dakota, do you chance trying to get another score before the half, knowing you're going to get the ball back? I mean, you kind of put yourselves in a position to say, hey, okay, we pretty much knocked them out if we get another score before the half. But at the same time, you're playing with fire if you try to get another score on the board, knowing you're going to get the ball coming out in the second half. So it's going to be interesting to play calls that they have right here on this drive.
South Dakota this season 6-0 when leading at half. They'll hand it off on the ground to L.J. Phillips on the first down carry. Aiden Bauman, though, the 5th-year senior quarterback, coming into this game, needed 131 yards to break the program's career passing yards record. In this game, he has 107.
And what's interesting, Mercer didn't use the timeout. I would think that, when you get the stop right there, you use your timeouts. You can't take them to the second half. Try and get the ball back and get yourselves another drive before the half. It looks like South Dakota's going to play this safe right now. And I think they're wasting a possible opportunity not using those timeouts.
Run the football, run the clock. 2nd and 9. Phillips gets to the edge. Or he's knocked out of bounds.
Phillips on the carry. Knocked it out of Hutchinson.
And just look at the elusiveness of Phillips. He's able to bounce it to the outside, and then he gets north and south. He's just a hard guy to get down. Very tough runner in the mold of that Missouri Valley Conference toughness that we talked about.
Nine-yard gain for L.J. Phillips as you take a look at both backs from today. Phillips for South Dakota, Miller for Mercer. Both have been solid. Despite the lack of offense from Mercer, Miller's been the highlight. 3rd and 1. Moving the chains on the carry from Phillips.
Phillips on the carry. Stopped by Drew Player for your Mercer Bears. First down and 10.
And I think if you're Mercer, this is where you have to be careful right now. This is where South Dakota may try and take an opportunity to get with the vertical pass game, get the ball down the field for a big play. We know they've had some issues covering on the back end, and if I'm Mercer, I'm not worried about a run right now. I'm worried about protecting the back end of this defense. Get those safeties deep. Keep everything in front of you.
Here's Fletcher. Brings up 2nd down. If you're Mercer and you're staring at a 24-0 lead going into the locker room, what are you saying to this group to kind of rally the troops, keep morale high?
You say, hey, we come into this football game with the ability to score. We average over 500 yards of offense. We've just got to get back to Mercer football. We've got an opportunity, a second half in front of our home crowd to get back into this football game. We just got to believe. That's what you say. I mean, that's all you can say at this point.
274 total yards for South Dakota in the first half as the Coyotes come in on the road and hold Mercer scoreless in the first half. The Coyotes with a 24-0 lead in Macon in the 2nd round of the FCS playoffs. Stick around for more halftime coverage at the break. It is a rainy Saturday afternoon in Macon, Georgia, but the fans are out for this 2nd round FCS matchup between the South Dakota Coyotes and the Mercer Bears, and it is South Dakota with the 24-0 lead over the Bears at the halftime break. Up in the booth alongside Forrest Connolly, I'm Kelsey Casper, and Forrest, this South Dakota team came out on the road and they made a big impression in this first half.
They've made a huge impression. They have run the football very effectively. They played grown man football, square chin football. They've hit Mercer in the mouth, and Mercer right now is on their heels. They're just trying to figure out how can they get some points on the board right now.
And it's really been that South Dakota defense suffocating this strong Mercer offense. 3 interceptions from freshman quarterback Braden Atkinson in the first half.
Well, it started out right here with the poor throw under pressure. You just cannot do that. You've got to hold on to the football. And then right here, he didn't put enough air under the ball. Smith was wide open. And you've got to help your quarterback, Ajante Dabb. You're the best receiver on the ball club. You can't let the ball bounce off of your shoulder pads.
And for the South Dakota offense, they have just been giving the ball to their running back, L.J. Phillips. He has 15 carries for 158 yards in this first half.
Well, he reminds me of the old school running back, Jerome Bettis. The wheels on the bus go round and round because he has just run through this defense. They have tried to arm tackle him. They've tried to gang tackle him. They've tried to get him to bounce it to the outside, and he doesn't care. He'll bounce it out there, and he'll just outrun you to the edge. He'll run over you. He'll run through you, and he's just done everything that you could ask for from a back. He's shown great vision. He's shown great patience, and he allows the play to develop, and then boom, just runs over defenders. Boom, they're face masking. They're pulling his helmet. They're doing everything that they can. I saw one play where right here, he's just holding on to him. He's just not letting him go. And this kid, Phillips, just keeps going and going and going and going.
2 touchdowns for Phillips as South Dakota leads 24-0 at the halftime break. All right, Forrest, looking at Mercer. They're staring at this deficit. What do they need to do in this second half?
Well, the first thing they've got to do is get a stop on this first drive. They've got to stop and they've got to get a ball back to their quarterback. And a young quarterback, he's just got to get into a rhythm, get the ball to your playmakers. But the receivers, squeeze the football. Help your young quarterback. He's had some opportunities, but they haven't helped him. We saw in that last drive, he had a first down conversion, but the receiver didn't squeeze the football. They hit him in the chest. So they've got to help their young quarterback.
We'll see what they can do in the second half. But first, before we go to break, let's take a look at the bracket. Some great second round matchups to look at, especially right above our game. Number 3, Montana. Number 14, South Dakota State. The winner of our game will face one of those 2 games in the quarterfinals. So exciting stuff going around across the country in this FCS playoff. But here in Macon, 24-0. The South Dakota lead over the Bears at halftime.
The college football playoff selection show. The bracket will be filled. Judgment Day is here.
Tomorrow at noon, the college football playoff selection show. Back inside 5-Star Stadium. I'm Kelsey Casper alongside Forrest Connolly. But here in Macon, Georgia, South Dakota up 24-0 over Mercer. Both of these teams still have a shot at a national championship. In just about exactly a month, January 5th, a champion will be crowned in Nashville, Tennessee. So at least for this Mercer team, they got to generate some momentum here and keep their season alive.
Keep hope alive, and it starts with getting a stop. First drive of this half, you cannot allow South Dakota to put any more points on the board. And then you've got a high-powered, high-octane offense, so I think that's one of the things that bodes well for them. They can put points on the board in a fast rate, at a fast rate, but they've got to be able to stop them defensively. We talked about Phillips. We talked about his ability to run through this defense, averaging over 10 yards a carry right now. So they've got to slow him down, but that's the key for them, stopping this offense, getting some points on the board, getting the confidence that they can actually score right now.
And we had mentioned South Dakota came into this game with a solid defense, but they have struggled with C.J. Miller. He's been great for Mercer on the ground.
Well, Miller has done a good job running the football, been effective, but it's just not enough. They started out early getting able to make tackles on him in the backfield, but then Miller started to get it going. But this defense has done a great job of slowing him down, not allowing him to be as effective as he wants to be. But he's made some plays for him, but that is not how they're going to get back into this football game. The young quarterback, Atkinson, is going to be the reason that they're able to get back into this game, passing the ball to all those playmakers on the outside, getting the vertical pass game going.
Well, Braden Atkinson, like we said, the Jerry Rice Award winner this week. It was announced on Wednesday, and talking with head coach Mike Jacobs, he said it was a really cool moment being able to bring him in, tell him he won the award. They actually got to call his dad, too, and announce that to him. How special is that to have that representation in this Mercer program?
Well, you think Cam Ward, Shador Sanders, Trey Lance, your name is recognized with those great players. So what an honor for this young man. And he's just a freshman. The thing that you've got to do now if you're Mercer is hold on to him. You don't want any of the big schools to come and grab him, because you know Georgia's lurking. You know Georgia Tech is lurking. You know some of these other FBS powers are lurking around looking for quarterback talent. And when you've got a talented player like that, you've got to try and hold on to him.
And you can see some of his teammates coming around him, patting him on the back, trying to get moral support up from Mercer here, playing on their home field at 5-Star Stadium in the second round of the FCS playoffs, earning the 6th seed, earning the first round bye. Their last game they played was on November 22nd at Auburn. They lost their first game of the season at Presbyterian, but after that, Mercer rattled off 9 straight wins. It's been an impressive season for the Bears, who lead the nation in total offense, but as we mentioned, they have struggled to get anything productive going in the run or pass game this afternoon.
You know, it's interesting. You know, you have to wonder if that time off affected them, because when we talked to the South Dakota coaches, they talked about the time off affecting them last week in their first playoff game, because they had a bye week the last week of the season. So they were slow to really get into a rhythm in that game last week against Drake. And maybe that's the same thing that we've seen with this Mercer offense. You know, you had a week off after that Auburn loss to kind of sit back and prepare. But sometimes you lose rhythm when you're not playing week to week to week.
South Dakota got the win over Drake in the first round last week, 38-17. It was the second time they beat the Bulldogs this season. They took them down on September 20th, 42-21. So Mercer started with the ball in the first half. South Dakota will get the ball to start things here in the second half. Both teams lining up to kick things off. As we take a look at first half stats, you see the disparity in total yardage, 274 compared to 120. And the rushing yards, the passing yards, big difference. Rain still pouring down here in Macon, Georgia, as we kick things off to start the second half. Braden White back to receive. And he'll take it past the 30-yard line, down the near sideline. And tensions flying, as both squads are getting into it.
And if I'm the Mercer coaching staff, I don't have any problem with this. I want to see some physicality from my team. I want to see some anger, some fire, some frustration.
So 1st and 10 for Aiden Bauman. We mentioned in the first half, he is a few yards shy of breaking the program's career passing record. He leads the FCS in both games started and wins. Here's LJ Phillips trying to pick up where he left off in the first half. Minimal gain on the play, sets up 2nd and 8.
And a good job by Kobe McGinnis getting pressure up the field, pushing the offensive player back. That's what you want to do, get pressure, get up the field pressure. Don't allow for those seams and those holes to develop. That is where Phillips has been most effective, when he's found the seam to get north and south.
This is South Dakota's 3rd straight visit to the FCS playoffs. They were a perfect 4-0 in November with 3 straight ranked wins. Play action, Bauman taking a shot downfield. Waiting for it was Lorenzo Fenner, but it is broken up by Donovan Watkins.
And that's on Bauman. Sorry about that, Kelsey, but that's on Bauman. He didn't put enough on the ball, and you saw Fenner had to stop to try and make that catch. If Bauman puts more air under the football and allows Fenner to run under it, he has an opportunity for a touchdown. And you see Bauman's face right there. I think he realizes he missed an opportunity there.
3rd and 8 for the Yotes. 3 of 5 today on 3rd down. Looking downfield again, taking a shot at Fenner this time. He grabs it. Touchdown, Coyotes. And Fenner, 15 touchdown receptions on the season. That's a new school record.
And you look at Kai Reyes, number 32. He took a poor angle right here. You've got to take an angle further up the field. Play the football, not the receiver. He's playing the receiver as opposed to the football, and he allowed the receiver to run under the ball and get the score.
66-yard reception for Lorenzo Fenner. And South Dakota takes a 31-0 lead. And the Coyotes come out quickly in the second half. They put up another 7 on the board and lead big. An exciting touchdown for South Dakota to start this 3rd quarter. 2 school records were broken on this one play to Lorenzo Fenner.
And Kai Reyes took a poor angle on that play, and Fenner able to run under the football and then outrun the defenders to get the easy score. And he is a guy coming into the football game that you knew you had to bracket coverage. They just did not do a good job on that play.
Celebration dance for Aiden Bauman, who is now the all-time career passing leader for South Dakota. And Lorenzo Fenner, now with 15 touchdown receptions on the season. That is the South Dakota single-season record. So 1 play, 2 records broken, and it's a 31-0 lead for South Dakota. Smith calls for the fair catch at about the 2-yard line. So Mercer will be backed up against their own end zone to start the second half on their opening drive. Also of note, Will Leyland for South Dakota just hit his 144th consecutive PAT. He has never missed in his South Dakota career. That's impressive.
Now let's hope you don't jinx.
Yeah. I need to knock on wood here.
Yes.
Don't jinx this. I'm sure he'll be back out in this game.
Yes, the way they've been scoring this afternoon, I'm sure he'll get another opportunity.
C.J. Miller on the carry, gain of 2 for Mercer.
You know something, Kelsey? If you're Mercer right now, you're going to learn a whole lot about your team if you're head coach Mike Jacobs right now, because they're going to look at film after this game is over. They're going to see who continues to play, who continues to work, who continues to get better. This is an opportunity to get better. It doesn't look like it's going to be a football game that they're going to win unless they have one of the most miraculous FCS playoff comebacks ever of all time. But this is still an opportunity to see what type of team you have.
Wide open is Trenton Jones. Pass caught for a first down. Just the 3rd reception on the year for the freshman out of Hastings, Florida. Just the 4th completion of the day for Atkinson. And he gets another one here. Quick pass, breaking out of a tackle. On the move and inside the 50 is Trenton Jones again. Back-to-back first downs for the freshman, a gain of 12.
And good job by Jones to break tackles and get positive yards. You know, the young player's getting an opportunity here, and he's taking advantage of it.
And we had mentioned the strength of Atkinson is that he gets the ball out so quickly. He's got great timing. Patient here. Connects, pass complete for Kendall Harris for a short gain. 2nd down.
One of the things that's been impressive to me about Atkinson is for a young quarterback, he doesn't get rattled when there's pressure around him. He does a good job of climbing the pocket and continuing to keep his eyes down the field. Often when you see young quarterbacks climb the pocket, they take off and start running, but he keeps his eyes down the field and he's trying to find a playmaker as opposed to running the football.
Well, all season he has had great protection. This offensive line coming into this game only gave up 5 sacks on the year. As Miller takes this one. They went 7 games without giving up a sack. That was 586 offensive plays.
Well, what they're doing a good job of is the offensive tackles are keeping the width of the pocket. So they're keeping square shoulders, and they're not opening that outside shoulder until the 3rd kick step. And then the guards in the center are being stout at the point of attack. So what that does is that forms that U pocket for him to be able to climb that pocket when he feels the squeeze coming from the outside.
My partner, Forrest Conley, former offensive lineman at Florida State University, knows a thing or two. 1st and 10. Play action. Atkinson taking a shot at the end zone and incomplete. Just out of the reach of Adonis McDaniel.
And let's watch the defender on this play. He does a good job of tracking the ball and then gets his hand in there to knock it out at the last minute. Adonis McDaniel had a good attempt on the football, but R.J. Stewart right there to knock that ball out.
R.J. Stewart with one of the 3 interceptions in the first half. Great coverage. Sets up a 2nd and 10.
And we've called his name often this afternoon. He's had a pretty good game.
Atkinson just over the head of McDaniel, 3rd down.
And watch at the end of this play, Atkinson takes a shot from the defender. That could have been called right there. That's just a little bit extra by Masai Newsom. Big Mo, as they call him.
So after 3 quick completions from Atkinson, they face a 3rd and 10. Ball on the South Dakota 37. Another shot downfield and incomplete. Again, intended for McDaniel. They went to him all three times, but now it's 4th down.
And I thought he had an opportunity to get the ball to McDaniel. He just put a little bit too tall for McDaniel to get up to it. But he had an opportunity there. McDaniel was open underneath the coverage that they had on the back end of the defense.
And they're going to go for a 4th and 10. 75% on 4th down this year. Atkinson in trouble. Throws it up. And incomplete. Kendall Harris nearly was able to hang on to it. But South Dakota turns it over on downs. Mikey Munn in coverage. So after getting into South Dakota territory, Mercer can't capitalize. Well, showing some local love to Macon, Georgia. The Allman Brothers Band Museum at the Big House. Got all the records, some cool memorabilia. Famously known for their song, Ramblin' Man. Knight Rider as well. Really cool stuff.
And you've also got Jason Aldean, Otis Redding, and Little Richard. Good golly, Miss Molly.
I'll be quite honest, I had to get a little bit of a history lesson before the game and do some research. But everyone on the production crew helping me out. On the move. Pass caught by Tyson Bowes. He's down the near sideline, tiptoeing his way all the way to the end zone. Touchdown, Yotes. 63 yards for Tyson Bowes.
And when you're running the ball as effective as South Dakota has run all afternoon, you're going to get opportunities like that. But a great block on the outside in the perimeter by Tennell Bryant. Watch the block by number 9 when we show the replay on how he was able to open that up for him to just run around the edge and go untouched, 63 yards for the touchdown.
Over 400 yards of offense for South Dakota today, and the extra point is good. Taking a look at it again, Tyson Bowes on the first play of this drive.
And watch number 9 right here on the outside. Key block, boom, right there. That key block right there opened it up for Bowes, and he's able to basically just walk down the sideline to the end zone. That's what you need to do, and that's what you ask for on the perimeter. Get a good block, get a great block, help your teammate out.
And South Dakota's celebrating.
And when we talked to the South Dakota Ball Club, they talked about their travel issues yesterday. Their flight was delayed 3.5 hours. They had some engine trouble. I don't know if I would have been here yet if I had engine trouble, but they actually were able to figure out what the issue was and able to get down here. But they missed out on a lot of their walkthroughs and all of that, and you see the frustration that they've taken out on this Mercer Ball Club this afternoon.
Yes, it shifted their whole schedule yesterday. They got in 4 hours later than they had planned, and then you got to wake up for a 12 p.m. kick, which is an hour earlier than what you're used to. But they came out ready to go on the road, and fans clearly making the trip and supporting their Coyotes as well. Braden Smith on the return. It's a good one up to the 30-yard line.
And what's interesting, Kelsey, we are not even 5 minutes into the third quarter, and South Dakota has already scored twice.
They came out, scored at about the first minute because they started with the ball in the second half. Then they turn it over on downs. Or excuse me, Mercer turns it over on downs, and then they capitalize on the first play.
Yes.
Touchdown for 66 yards and a touchdown for 63. And it's a 38-0 lead. Here's C.J. Miller making a man miss past the 30 before he's taken down by Gabe Hardman.
Now, when we talked about the previous play by South Dakota, we saw the blocking on the perimeter. So watch this play, number 14, Malik Simmons. You've got to make this block. If he makes the block right there on the perimeter, then you don't have the defensive back coming up to slow down Miller. So that's the difference in what we're seeing from the offenses on the football field. When you make those key perimeter blocks, you open up opportunities for your playmakers.
Miller on the ground. Steam ahead. Needs about 3 on the play. Third down.
Coaches often talk about doing your 111th, meaning you do your job and you create opportunities for your teammates. And that is what we've seen throughout this afternoon from this South Dakota Ball Club. Everybody's been doing their 111th.
Some changes on the South Dakota defense. 3rd and 8. Pressure comes. Atkinson still able to get it off. Pass caught by Malik Simmons. But DeJuan Lewis was all over it. 4th down.
And you see they're going with the tackle and twist. They're confusing the offensive lineman. It's immediate pressure on Atkinson. He doesn't have time to look down the field and go through progressions, and that's something that they talked about. They wanted to get immediate pressure on him, make him go through progressions, take away his first read. They've done that very effectively throughout this afternoon.
So John McConnell out to punt it away for Mercer. And again, Jack Martins back to receive. And he'll let this one roll to about the 20-yard line. So South Dakota coming out strong in this second half. They've scored twice so far. Lead by 38. South Dakota quarterback Aiden Bauman having one of the best games of his career. The 5th-year senior, 12 for 16 with 236 passing yards and 2 touchdowns.
Well, we came into this ball game talking about arm strength, accuracy, his ability to be a playmaker in tough situations, and he has been a playmaker throughout this afternoon. You see here the long touchdown pass to Tyson Bowles, his first career touchdown, and what a way for him to get his first one on the board. A big play, and once again, great blocking on the outside and the perimeter by Bryant.
And with his 236 passing yards, he broke the school's record for career passing yards. He's lined up under center here. Pitches it back to Fletcher, who finds an open lane. Fletcher past the 50. He stays on his feet, but they're going to say he was out. A massive run from the walk-on, Carson Fletcher.
And once again, Tennell Bryant, number 9, is out there with the lead block, doing a good job of helping his teammates. You'll see him appear in the picture. See him right there, number 9, doing a good job of getting outside, blocking, getting in front of the defender, Donovan Watkins, making him get down the field, take a different angle to try and get Fletcher out of bounds.
57-yard pickup for Carson Fletcher. And all of a sudden, South Dakota with another opportunity to score in this 3rd quarter. There's Reed Watkins taken down in the backfield, brings up 2nd down. The Coyotes' last 2 drives in this 3rd quarter, all it took was 51 seconds. The second one, 11 seconds to score. Second and 11. Ball on the 24-yard line. Hand off to Watkins again. He had the first touchdown of the game, the first of his career. Picks up a few on the play and brings up 3rd down.
And for a team only giving up 90 yards rushing, you've got a South Dakota team right now at about 230 yards, and we've still got a quarter and a half to go. So it's like they looked at this game as an opportunity to accept the challenge, and they have fulfilled the challenge of being able to run the football against the best defensive team against the run in FCS football.
Mercer held 8 of their last 10 opponents to 72 rushing yards or less. Fletcher able to make something happen out of that play, but it is 4th down for South Dakota. And it looks like Will Leyland will come out to kick the field goal. .37-yard field goal attempt for Will Leyland, who's made 16 this season. Kick is up, and it is no good, far left. So Leyland can't put it through, and it stays 38-0.
And now, did that stop the record?
That was extra points.
Okay. But you put it out there. It's that negative energy.
I'm not taking that. That one was not on me, my friend.
Okay, I'll see. That's on you.
His streak lives on. But he does miss the 37-yard attempt. So that is where Mercer will take over. Ball on their own 20. Just under 6 minutes left to play in this third quarter. Atkinson with time connects over the middle of the field. That one caught by Solomon for a Bears first down.
And a good job by the offensive line, giving Atkinson the time that he needed to go through his progressions, find the open receiver, and Solomon making himself a target, in the middle of that zone defense.
16-yard catch for Solomon, the redshirt junior, playing in his hometown in Macon, Georgia. Atkinson flushed. Still looking, and incomplete. Looking for McDonald down the far sideline.
And South Dakota coming with that tackle in twist. A good job by the offensive line picking it up, giving Atkinson additional time. You saw Atkinson escape the pocket, trying to create more time to look down the field and find a receiver.
Second and 10. Atkinson hands it off to Doty. And the South Dakota defense was all over it. Third down.
And Doty's a track guy. If he's able to get to the outside, he's one of those guys that can burn it and get down the field and be uncatchable because of his explosiveness and his speed.
Mercer's only been able to convert on 2 third downs today. They stare at a 3rd and 8 with under 5 to go. Atkinson, pass, broken up, batted down by Caden Crawford. His 3rd pass breakup of the season.
And Crawford did a good job of pushing the offensive lineman back into the pocket. You see right there, you've got to do a better job of sitting down if you're the guard. And what the defensive linemen are taught to do, if you can't get to the quarterback, read his eyes, and when he gets ready to release the football, get that big paw up there to knock it down. So a good job by Crawford reading the quarterback Atkinson's eyes and getting his hand up there to knock the ball down.
Martin's able to hang on to it and call for the fair catch inside the 20-yard line. The NCAA FCS championship coverage continues with the quarterfinals next Saturday on all ESPN platforms. For more information, visit ncaa.com, the home for all NCAA championships. Rain still coming down here in Macon. Ponchos out, umbrellas out. And South Dakota fans are still out in attendance supporting their Coyotes. Hoping to watch them advance to the quarterfinals. Here's 1st and 10 for Bauman. Fenner with the catch. And he's taken down by Donovan Watkins. 8-yard pickup on the play.
You have to wonder at this point how long Bauman will stay in the game. I mean, they've pretty much got this covered, and you want to start looking at protecting your guys and having your starters ready, rested, and prepared for next week's ball game.
Pitches it out to Fletcher. He finds an opening, and he's got another big run in him. Out past the 50, he had some help in front of him. And the freshman walk-on doing some damage in this game.
And I'm going to go ahead and put this out here. Tennell Bryant needs to be the blocker of the week, not an offensive lineman. Watch, you'll see number 9 once again. You see him, there he goes again. Out there lead blocking. I love what the little fella has been doing all afternoon on all of these big runs. All of a sudden you see Tennell Bryant showing up, blocking on the perimeter.
32-yard run for Carson Fletcher, who talked with Coach Johansson. He said, I would not expect him at the beginning of the season, if you had told me he was going to have half the carries this year, he said, I'd bet my whole salary.
And that's the interesting thing, and that's the thing for young players. You always have to prepare as if you're going to be playing. Your name is going to get called. Your number is going to get called. Coaches always tell players, you're an ankle sprain away from being in the football game. We talked about it earlier with L.J. Phillips. You know, you had Charles Pierre. You had Keandre Jones-Logan. Those were the two potential starters for this team. They got injured, and L.J. Phillips had to step up. There was a time where Carson Fletcher had to step in when L.J. couldn't play in the game against Southern Illinois.
Watkins gets the handoff this time. Inside the 45. Brings up 3rd down, gain of 3 on the play. All 3 running backs for South Dakota have made an impact today.
And what's interesting, you come into this game only giving up 90 yards. L.J. Phillips has 160. Carson Fletcher has 89 yards, so he's getting ready to pass that 90-yard mark as well. 264 total yards rushing. They have had a dominant performance running and passing the football.
See a pass here, but taken down. Andrew Zock hit Naden Bauman from behind. 4th down.
And you had to know that Zock was going to get there at some point. You see him right there. He beats the offensive tackle, Jacob Orup, around the corner. Orup does a poor job of setting on that play. You've got to get a setback. You've got to get 3 kick steps. You've got to then open that outside shoulder. If you open that outside shoulder prematurely against a pass rusher like Zock, he's going to get around the edge, and you saw on that play.
They called it an incomplete pass. SoCon Defensive Player of the Year with a big hit. And forces a 4th down. That snap on the punt. Ebel still able to get it off. Flag on the play as this one rolls into the end zone.
Ball goes into the end zone. Flag on the play.
Offside, defense. The penalty will be assessed after the result of the play, which is a touchback. 1st down.
So is offsides on Mercer, but Coach Johansson having a word after it. Let's see if the correction.
South Dakota is elected to enforce the penalty and re-kick. 4th down.
So there it is. South Dakota will re-kick. So they will not kick. They will kick. Aiden Bauman punts it away on 4th and 3, and they let this one roll to the 1-yard line. How about that?
You know, Kelsey, when you talk about playing a perfect game right now, you have to say that South Dakota has kind of done any and everything that they've wanted to do. When your quarterback goes and does a pooch kick and kicks it down to the 1-yard line, I mean, you know it's just their day. Bauman, 13 of 18, 241 yards, 2 touchdowns. You've got Phillips, 16 carries, 160 yards. Fletcher, 7 carries, 89 yards. 2 100-yard receivers. I mean, what else can you ask for?
Do you think Aiden Bauman's more excited about his several touchdowns or that punt that he just did?
He's got to be that pooch kick. He's got to be.
And a fumble.
And now safety to add. I mean, this is brutal.
South Dakota's wanting a safety. It was Atkinson who dropped the ball.
The question is it a safety or a touchdown, I guess?
Officials still trying to sort this one out.
Maybe the ball was outside of the goal line.
Ruling on the field is that the ball was recovered behind the goal line. The result of the play is a safety.
And you see the wet ball. Atkinson just drops the football right there. And it's just been a tough afternoon for this Mercer Ball Club. They came in with such high hopes.
And everything going South Dakota's way. Up 40 points on the road in the rain against the 6th seed in this bracket.
And we saw, when we talked to the South Dakota coaches, they just had this air of confidence about them. They talked about the Missouri Valley Conference and the type and brand of football, and they said Mercer had not seen what they were going to bring to the table. And usually coaches will say that. It's coach speak a lot of times because they want to instill confidence and show that they're prepared and ready to play. But they knew something coming into this football game when we see the outcome and the way that they've been able to just very much do whatever they want to do. And I think the thing that's been most impressive is how effective that they've run the football. You've got 2 different backs averaging over 10 yards a carry. And that's not backs that are just carrying the ball 2 and 3 times. You know, they've carried the ball very often, but they've just run through this defense that has stopped the run all season long.
And this is South Dakota team that has rattled off 4 straight wins, 3 of which were against ranked opponents. And I asked Coach Johansson the difference in this team and what's been the difference in the offense, and he says the explosiveness. He feels like they're really unlocking the potential of their offense right here in the final stretch of the season. And Braden White on the return. Again, some chippiness on the field after the play. As Bauman and company will return to the field. Here's Fletcher. Reaching his way to the 49, 2nd down. Eight carries, 89 yards for Fletcher in this game. And the Coyotes have surpassed 500 yards of total offense. And it's been the duo of Phillips and Fletcher on the ground. Here's Fletcher, cutting, pass midfield. Still shy of the line to gain 3rd down.
And the offensive line continues to do a good job of firing off with flat backs, getting movement at the point of attack, and being able to climb up to those 2nd-level defenders. That's been the recipe all afternoon for their success running the football, climbing up and covering those 2nd-level defenders, not allowing those guys to flow downhill, something that Fox and Claire did a very good job of this season as they were able to hold opponents to 90 yards a game rushing.
South Dakota will have to snap this. 5 seconds left to work in the 3rd quarter. Here's Fletcher again. And he's stopped. So that brings up 4th down and the end of the 3rd quarter. Well, it has been all South Dakota. They've held the home team scoreless with a 40-point lead. You're watching the 2nd round of the FCS playoffs on ESPN. A rainy, cool day in Macon, Georgia. But South Dakota has come to town and lit it up. 40-point lead entering the 4th quarter, and they will start things off by punting it away. Braden Smith calls for the fair catch at about the 10-yard line.
Fair caught at the 9-yard line.
Forrest Conley and Kelsey Casper with you. And Forrest, just the way that South Dakota came into this game, we knew it was going to be a tough matchup for Mercer, but they have just dominated in all facets of the game.
All facets, they've done everything that they wanted to do, and they've been a very complete offense, passing the ball effectively, running the ball effectively. We were talking about it off air. There haven't been any sacks in this football game. We know Zoc came into the game the Defensive Player of the Year in the Southern Conference, but he's been held in check as well. So both teams have done a good job protecting the quarterback, but South Dakota's done a great job of doing everything else along with protecting the quarterback.
Miller was patient, worked his way around the pile, and gets a first down run. 19 yards on the play for the redshirt junior.
He's been one of the bright spots of this Mercer offense. Miller's ability to find holes, to break tackles. He's made some very tough runs this afternoon. He's done a real good job for this offense. It's just been overshadowed by what we've seen from the South Dakota offense.
17 carries, 106 yards for C.J. Miller. On the ground, handoff this time to Ty Doty, who takes it to the 35-yard line, pickup of 8.
You know, it's interesting, when we were talking to the Mercer coaches, they told us, they said, hey, you know, we've played some tough competition this year. We played Auburn. You know, we've seen some great backs, but we feel like L.J. Phillips is the best back that we've seen him. You've seen the production that he's had in this ball game. So they kind of knew coming into this game what they were facing when you brought L.J. Phillips to the table.
They ended up losing to Auburn 62-17, but it was actually pretty close at the halftime mark, because that one is caught right at the 40-yard line by McDaniel. And that moves the chains.
And right now, if you're Mercer, pride is at stake right now. You want to at least score before this game is over. You want to feel like you did something offensively. They've had some positive plays, but you want to at least put a score on the board here for your home crowd.
Atkinson pressured. In and out of the hands of Kendall Harris. That's happened a handful of times today. A target.
And Xavier Jennings got away with a hold on that play, number 70. If you watch number 70, you don't see it on the replay right here, but you know, you got to help your quarterback out. And you see two receivers in the area right here. Adonis McDaniel is kind of looking at Harris like, hey, that ball was supposed to come to me. So it just kind of lets you know what's going on with this offense right now. They're just kind of disoriented.
You see South Dakota looking to advance to the quarterfinals. Atkinson throws another interception, his 4th of the day, and the 2nd for Mikey Munn. Another takeaway by this South Dakota defense. Mikey Munn with his 2nd pick of the day. Coyotes offense back on the field. (40-0) the lead for South Dakota at Mercer with under 13 minutes left to play in the 4th quarter. South Dakota back with the ball after another interception. Here's Kirsten Fletcher on the ground, spinning his way to the 35-yard line. In Forrest, 4 interceptions on the day for freshman quarterback Braden Atkinson. It was Mikey Munn who had the last pick. That sets up 2nd and 3. Pitches it out to Fletcher. He's met by Tommy Bliss. Right at the line to gain.
And this is college football right here, ladies and gentlemen. You hear the contact going on out there. The defense is still sending a message and still playing hard. And you've got to appreciate about these young men. They know they're not going to win this football game, but they're still out there playing tough football. A good job.
That run was good enough for a first down.
And our producer's talking to me, and he asked me, did I miss those sounds and miss that? I do not miss that. I am old now.
Timeout, South Dakota, first charge in the second half. Timeout on the field.
Under 12 to go, South Dakota with a 40-point lead. Well, before today's game, it was the annual reindeer run, a 5K around the beautiful campus of Mercer University. You see some Christmas spirit as well. Getting some miles in before this FCS playoff game at 5-Star Stadium, costumes and all. And I swear, I was driving in. I saw Forrest Connolly running in the 5K this morning.
You're a fibber. You didn't see me running.
Got in a whole 5K before the broadcast?
Absolutely not. I'm not built to run anymore.
Former offensive lineman from Florida State, Forrest Connolly. Kelsey Casper with you in this fourth quarter.
See, Kelsey, people my size are built for short, quick bursts. 2-3 yard bursts, and then that's it. It's over.
It's 2nd and 6 for South Dakota with under 12 minutes to go.
And I still think you've got a Mercer team that's playing for pride right now. Defensively, you want to get a stop. You want to get the ball back to your offense. You want to give your young quarterback an opportunity to try and put some points on the board. You spoke earlier about those interceptions, and a couple of those has been freshman mistakes. They've gotten pressure on him, and he's trying to make a play, something out of nothing. But he's got to understand that when it's not there, it's drawn up. You just hold on to the football, take the sack, and live to play another play.
Reed Watkins taken down, -1 on the play. And also you mentioned playing for pride. There's a lot of seniors playing their last football game of their careers on this field this afternoon.
And I think we've got to recognize and acknowledge as well the great season that this Mercer ball club has had. They've had a dominant season when you look at their defense and what they were able to do prior to this football game, coming in, only giving up 90 yards a game, first in FCS, fourth, overall. First in the Southern Conference, fourth in FCS. So they did a good job defensively. They've had a great season. It's just come to an abrupt end against a tough South Dakota football team.
Fletcher on the carry brings up 4th down. And Mercer offensively even better. They led the nation in total offense, averaging 504 yards per game, 2nd in passing yards, averaging 333. They clinched their 2nd straight SoCon title this season.
And Atkinson, the season that he had as a freshman, winning the Jerry Rice Award, that was huge. And then, on the other side of the football, Zoc winning the Defensive Player of the Year award for the Southern Conference. So they've had a great season. Once again, they've just run into a juggernaut this afternoon.
And South Dakota will go for it on 4th and 4. Handoff on the outside, weaving his way inside the 10 to now Bryant in the end zone for South Dakota. 26 yards on 4th down. And Bryant adds to the lead.
Well, it's almost like you had to give the ball to Tennell Bryant. He's been doing an excellent job blocking on the perimeter. So, hey, let's give the young fella an opportunity to get around the edge and score the touchdown. And you see his ability, the speed when he gets in the open field. He's very difficult to catch. He's an explosive player. He's, one of those guys that you talk about being able to get separation. Well, you saw him separate from those defenders as they try to get over to the field and try to make the tackle.
The extra point is good. 47 points on the board for South Dakota as Tennell Bryant earned this opportunity. He scores for the South Dakota lead. Under 10 minutes left to play in this 4th quarter. South Dakota with a 47-point lead over Mercer. Taking a look at the bracket, the Yotes looking to advance to the quarterfinals, playing the winner of Montana and South Dakota State, and that is a close game right now. End of the 1st quarter, it's South Dakota State with a 14-point lead over the 3 seed in Montana. There's actually some great games going around the country in the FCS playoffs. North Dakota State up 21-14 over Illinois State at halftime. That's a close game to keep an eye on. Tarleton State up 13-7 over North Dakota. And also, Yale and Montana State, 1-score game. It's a 7-0 lead for Montana State in the 2nd quarter. So South Dakota will kick things off. Braden Smith back to receive.
Fair catch. Mercer will take
And
over
South
at the
Dakota
25
defense
yard
has
line.
been stellar, and they have forced a lot of takeaways in this game.
Well, that was a freshman throw right there. Atkinson trying to make something out of nothing. But here he just didn't put enough air under the football. Mikey Munn able to run under that football. Receiver right here, you've got to help your quarterback out on that play. And then here, throwing off the back foot. A freshman mistake right there, trying to make a play. And Mikey Munn, Johnny on the spot for his second interception this afternoon.
4 turnovers for this Mercer squad, who have not been able to put points on the board in this second round matchup. They'll continue to feed Miller on the ground, but he is tackled for a loss on the play. -1.
And a good job by Lincoln Adams getting penetration on that play. When your linebackers are able to flow downhill, you have a successful defense because they can create opportunities to make big plays in the backfield. And that starts with those defensive linemen, Chris Dixon, Masai Newsom, Caden Crawford, Now Dickel. They're doing a good job of occupying those offensive linemen.
Atkinson on 2nd and 11. Pass completed to Solomon. He's taken out at the 35. Good pickup, enough to move the chains. Gain of 12 on the play.
And a good job by Solomon getting possession of the football, getting his shoulders turned and finding the sticks and getting beyond the sticks to convert that for a first down.
Solomon with 2 receptions on the day. He only had 10 on the season coming into this game. Here's Doty. And he is wrapped down by Wade Abrams. Gain of 2, 2nd and 8. This USD defense coming into this game, forcing 5 turnovers in the last 5 games, all against ranked opponents. It's been an emphasis on takeaways for the Yotes. Quick speed. Doty right up the middle to the 45.
And a good job by Doty pressing the line of scrimmage. They go with that orbit action in the backfield, and Doty's able to get the ball and press and find the seam and get north and south and get that first down.
Just enough to move the chains. Doty, the 5'9" freshman out of Madison, Alabama. He'll take a seat as Tyrell Cord lines up to the left of Atkinson. Trying to work his way around the pile. He is taken down. Wade Abrams again in for the stop.
And you see the penetration by the defensive line. There's nowhere for him to press the line. Cord is trying to find the seam. There's nowhere. He tries to bounce it to the outside. But then you've got those linebackers, Wade Abrams, Bo Ryan, Lincoln Adams, those guys flowing downhill.
You get to see the arm of Atkinson. Pass completed to Cord. He is brought down at the 49-yard line. Tackle made by Lincoln Adams and Jaden Brown. Third down for the Bears. Atkinson. Catch made by McDaniel. And they're able to convert on third down and move the chains for a first down.
And a good job by McDaniel getting his body in between the defender and the football. Kind of what you do in basketball, boxing him out where only he could make a play on the football.
Couple complete completions for Atkinson on this drive. His receivers have been there to make the catch, something they've struggled with today. Receivers dropping some passes from Atkinson. Out to the 40. On the ground was Ty Doty.
15, please. I want out of
2nd down and 7.
and not a bad way.
So the Bears in Yotes territory, trying to put their first points on the board in the final 5 minutes of this game.
And so far, this has been a good-looking drive, probably the best drive that they've had this evening or this afternoon.
High snap. Atkinson with time. Short pass to Doty. He is wrapped up inside the 40-yard line.
And one of the good things about opportunities like this, you get second and third teamers opportunities to play live action, get some live good work. You're not going to get this type of work in practice. So this is a good opportunity for these guys to play playoff football, understand the speed of the game and what they're going to see as they continue to progress and play tougher opponents.
3rd and 5, 10th play on the drive for Mercer. Atkinson. Another pass complete, this time to Braden Smith. Another 1st down for the Bears.
And a good job by Smith locating the sticks, getting beyond the sticks and making himself a target. Often you see guys not get past the sticks, so his awareness of knowing where to be to convert that 1st down was good for his quarterback.
Mercer slowly but surely working their way downfield. Ball on the Coyotes 31. Doty spinning, but he is eaten up in the backfield. Bring out the shovels. Carter Hooper with the big tackle for the Oats.
And a good job by Hooper disengaging from the offensive lineman, number 74, Amari Atkinson, the 2nd team performer. He did a good job of disengaging and getting his hands on the ball carrier. That's what defensive linemen are taught to do: engage, identify the ball carrier, disengage, and get the ball carrier down.
Loss on the play, 2nd and 12. Right across the middle of the field and nearly picked off. Lincoln Adams getting his hands on it.
And I tell you what, Lincoln Adams is doing a good job. You see him reading the quarterback's eyes. I like what I see from this young player. He is going to be a guy to watch as he continues to grow in this defense. The young redshirt freshman out of Lake Zurich High School in Illinois has done an excellent job since he's been in the football game. We've called his name often.
Nearly the 5th interception today for South Dakota. Pass caught inside the 22, McDaniel. And that'll be another Mercer 1st down.
And a good job converting on that 3rd down.
And that'll bring us to the final 2 minutes of this matchup. Mercer on a great drive, looking to score their first points, but they trail 47. Two minutes left in this FCS playoff 2nd round matchup between South Dakota and Mercer. And it looks like South Dakota is going to take a timeout right out of the break.
And you have to know the defense, the starting defense is talking to these guys and saying, hey, we want to preserve the shutout. You know, you guys, it's up to you guys to preserve the shutout. So they're putting pressure on these 2nd and 3rd teamers that are out there to do their job and finish the job. But then on the other side of the football field, you've got a Mercer team that's playing for pride and wanting to put some points on the board. We talked about it. There's some guys that are playing their last ever college football game out here. So, you know, you want to, have something, and you're playing for pride at this point and wanting to put points on the board your last time out in front of your home fans, in front of your family and friends.
Just a few seniors on this Mercer offense. Right tackle, Xavier Jennings. Atkinson drops back, pass caught. down the near sideline. Travion Solomon taken out of bounds at about the 10-yard line. This has been Mercer's best drive of the game. 14 plays, just over 7.5 minutes off the clock. And there's the flag.
Tyrell Cord tried to hold it. It's almost like the official didn't want to throw the flag. You saw the official kind of sitting there in the crowd. Yeah, he's almost like, do I really have to throw the flag? And you hear the South Dakota sideline, come on, throw the flag, throw the flag.
He's trying his best to hold it. But nonetheless, 5-yard penalty for Mercer, 2nd and 8. Atkinson looking, short pass, here's Cord. We'll squeeze out a few extra yards, it'll bring up 3rd down.
And Lincoln Adams again on the play. He has had a really good game in this 4th quarter.
3rd and 6.
So it'll be 3rd and 6 for the Bears. Incomplete. Quick pass in and out of the hands of Solomon. 4th down.
And that may have been an executive decision right there by Solomon. I think that was an executive decision. He felt the pressure coming and decided, hey, I'm going to get alligator arms on this play and let this ball go.
So that'll bring up 4th down. They're going for it. Over the middle. Incomplete. Pass intended for Braden Smith, and it was Austin Rosetta in coverage with the big stop. And they're pumped because they had the opportunity to preserve the shutout. The 5th-year senior Austin Rosetta out of Kansas celebrating with his teammates on the sideline.
And think about this, he comes into this game with 1 tackle on the season, and he makes the play to preserve the shutout. What an awesome feeling it is for that young man right now.
The Coyote fans chanting USD because their Coyotes are gonna take a knee and ride this one out. And that will do it. In the rain, fans celebrating because South Dakota comes in on the road and shuts out Mercer to beat the Bears 47-0. 2 playoff wins under the Coyotes' belt. They took down Drake last week 38-17. And they dominate Mercer 47-0.
And just a dominant performance by South Dakota. They were able to run the ball effectively. They were able to throw the ball effectively. Defensively, they made Atkinson look like a freshman. And they shut Zock out, who had been making plays all throughout this year on defense. They did an excellent job fulfilling their game plan. They had a great game plan, and they came in and did the job.
And you can see South Dakota moving on to the quarterfinals. They're going to have to wait and see who they will face. Montana and South Dakota State in a close game, if you want to tune into that one on ESPN+. Well, the Coyotes coming out with a big win, taking down 6-seeded Mercer on the road with a 47-0 victory. over the Bears. So for our entire crew, my analyst Forrest Connolly, I'm Kelsey Casper saying so long from Macon, Georgia. The Coyote season is still alive with a big win over Mercer.